Done watching the No Nonsense do a gold video. Oh, Jesus. Why bother, honestly? Why do you bother? Um, I don't get it. But, oh, Jesus. My back's all fucked up. Please hold. So, yeah, watching, it's so, there's nothing there to really chew on. Not even a chart. Just a blackboard again. More blackboard torture. It's like being in some fucking Catholic school shit. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Get a ruler? Is he gonna break out a ruler? You're not the one candle rule. The one ruler apparently. Guy's so hard. People million views on big banks. 1 million views. Who would care what a big bank's doing? It's what are you doing? It's like you're talking about like, well, the interstate from here to California is kind of are you on it? What are you hauling trucks or something? I don't know. It's just so bizarre. Just mind-boggling. Anyways, looking at the gold market, which he was talking about, he says it's not choppy. Okay, I don't mean to split hairs, but look at this fucking thing. Forex looks smoother than this shit. Holy fuck. What's his algo for gold? I can't wait to see that. Anyways, mine was to buy these fractals I talked about to go against Bill Williams and fade him to death. Like you're going to fade the confirmation breakout people that sell into that shit. Yeah, obviously this big hole is where you buy. Okay? You just got to put the tickets in and just be like, I don't give a fuck. But I'm not trading the fucking gold market while I'm totally focused on scalping and swinging on another currency. So I just take one thing and focus on it. Now, if I get bored with the euro dollar, I go, I think that, like, if something's on fire, like 300 pips down on a currency, I'm like, well, let's take a look at this. In other words, it's the big fish out there that you're going to lose maybe some line. You have to give it so much fucking line. I mean, if you're going to have something, you've got to be able to get something from just gauging the volatility, matching it on the fly real time as it comes at you. So you've got the trade plan in place, and you just do this dumbass fucking reversal trade. This is the dumbest shit in the world. In fact, I would say for every fractal it takes out, I'd have a 1K, a 2K, a 40K at this price, right? Here is where you're going to put in, you never got filled, so you have to get this right. You've got to scale in like this. It's the only way to maximize this price pulse. There's no way around it. Okay, this really does exist. This is called support. When they trap it below here and it comes ripping back, the sellers are supposed to come in again and topple it. So it's the lack of follow through on buying the Williams fractal like a fucking idiot. If you're going to put a buy stop in, you put it on the high of the day in a narrow range. When you see baby bars, you put in tight stops on the daily. You're not looking for ATR 1.25. I like the way he says, it reminds me of some guy that's telling you how to record music, and he says, run the compressor, just put a skosh more on it when you're doing like rock and roll. And he said, your gold's so smooth. He did mention that it's a troy ounce, though, but he didn't say what the size of a troy ounce is. It's like 31.58 grams, some insane number. Which actually, if you drill down, it comes from tonnage. It is from Britain. The troy ounce is from, Troy. So, I don't know. It just drives me crazy, this no nonsense. He's not saying, he did say it's going to pull back. Okay. So he says it's going to pull back, but any kind of signal that comes from your indicator system that you try to robotize and make it, consistently do that. What if all of a sudden the Bitcoin is at 1,000 Bitcoins at 100,000? If it gets there too quickly, the wheels would come off other markets. People would it would be like. But then again, all this gold, people. Yeah, it's just like real estate. Okay, gold's like real estate. Actually, it's a representation of labor, because how much effort does it take to drill it out of the ground? And that's what shows you out inflation, labor. So there is a gold standard. There's always been a gold standard because everybody sees it's there. Okay, even if it's black market, that's another standard. Like Bitcoin is the new. Okay, I feel safe having my money parked on a ledger, and I'm willing to pay X to hold. It's not stable. This is like if you all your fucking liquid money's in Bitcoin. You yeah, of course you want to have real estate, shit that's not going to fluctuate. I mean, you want your whole account, all your money to be in your trading account. So yeah, probably Bitcoin is you're trading. If you're going to park it there, you're taking a position whether you like it or not because you're in the fucking market. But you stand on the sidelines in the dollar's like watching paint dry. It's like dollar Swiss. It's just like bullshit. But some market that's ripping, in forex market, I remember when the ruble took off like about 3 years ago or something. It just went berserk. I wasn't trading it, but I looked at it and I go, God, is this broker giving me bullshit data? What the fuck is this? And it was brutal looking. I mean, it was sweeping up and down and just crushing anybody that was trying to trade a Williams breakout. Dumb shit, Williams. Although eventually he'll be right, like a turtle trader, where when the market's trending, you're making money. When it goes 80% of the market's chop, that's why there's not very successful trend bots, because they keep getting trapped in the nonlinear minutia. So where this logarithmic shit where it's spiraling out. Yes, it's 618 more in time than it is in price. It's also, right, if you're going to do Fibonacci, you have to do it in time, because that's what creates that compressed look where you see noise and then it's sweeping and then it has one notch, right? One pullback on the 4 hour, and then it does a complete measured move where it's screaming into a vacuum. So we've all seen that move. And how do you know you're in that? Well, you have to size everything appropriately, because you can't trade every market simultaneously and get the best out of each one, because there are things you need to do maybe every hour it takes tending to. You'd have to say, oh, you know what, I was going to buy down there, but now I'm like, how much do I reserve for limit orders after I pull the trigger on what I don't kind of want to miss the price, and I certainly don't want to overpay. So if it spikes down, I'm going to buy one at the market. It's only logical. And the next order is a limit, because I'm going to leg into it, and just the steps you need to do. Now, sure, you could put a buy stop on that, but I'm already fucking bought at the market. So for me, psychologically, I'd rather buy at the market with a wide stop, something to just get the party started, and then put the limits out, see if they come get me. Now, if they can see people's stops, can they see my limits? Are they trying to fill me and kill me? I mean, this is so ridiculous. Are they hunting my limits? The big banks? Are you out of your fucking mind? But 1 million views. There you go. It shows you the people just don't get it. They think, oh yeah, it's like the guy that goes to Guitar Center. He buys a fucking Marshall stack. He buys Jeff Beck fucking Signature Series Strat. He thinks he's gonna sound like Jeff Beck. It's ridiculous. And why is he even bothering? And another question is, why did Jeff Beck even want to make a signature? It's so tacky. Why would you make a signature guitar? I've never understood these artists. They're like, yeah, and I got a signature guitar, like fucking politicians. I had my signature. There, Eric Clapton's signature guitar I almost bought for $1,800 when it first came out, and it had these nut rollers, nut rollers on the top, and it was like a big deal. A whammy bar. I was never a whammy bar guy. I'm like, dude, leave it alone. Stop with the turning. I got my band can whammy, amazing, but squiggle whammies and all. I'm like, dude, just drive down the road. Just get. But see, that's a personal thing, and so for me, I'm kind of looking at the market as far as the spastic nature of it is the way you're going to get when the market heats up, is when you're going to see whether or not you were right about those few tickets. Then the ones that are the market's yelling at you like where it goes sideways too long. If it goes sideways too long and it's dried up, this is when you want to build your tight hedges that have explosive, kind of like out of the gate, maybe makes 25 pips and there's a 50 pip lingering in there. But today I had it sized just about right. I was able to make it to 7,200. Didn't make 10 grand. I think if I don't know how many more setups there's left in the week right now. But I'm not in the gold thing, but I'm just saying, all these markets are the same. If you don't think this is a wiki market, I don't know what you're talking about. This is the gold market. And look at all these insane raids. You could have just placed pendings in these deep pockets that go back like 10 days, and you could have cleaned up on gold. From the long side, I could certainly see that trade. I must say, I just love to buy. So this being where the most bulls that are here and they're just having a party going, woohoo, they're going to put their trailing stop, or their trailing stop bot's going to try to manage that, get chopped out, and now he's really going to get sliced out. So if I'm a bull, every day's gold down, I buy it. Every day it's down, I buy. Now, if I keep that up, and you could even draw a trend line on close here, a perfect trend line that it's on close, and you just keep on every time, and it's getting less and less volatile, which means you got to start putting on bigger or more positions, because this trade is going to pay for this $40 move is going to pay for the even if you sold up into this, also coming back the other way. Now it's psychologically difficult, because if you just got done with that trade, you're like, perfect, I'm done. If that was stressful, are you going to jump back on the short side of that too? Well, you would if you were going to trade in a more blow-by-blow manner, day by day. We can see what's going to happen. Like, this is like watching these fucking idiots try to impeach Trump. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You remind me of, like, it's just like the most dumb shit stuff, but it's a ploy to stall for time. People have to bullshit in some kind of, it's weird, but see, the market is so honest, it doesn't bullshit anybody. It's just zigging and zagging, and putting these orders in these traps, and these going against Bill Williams here, fading his entry, and really heavily too, because that's these fractals are also showing you what the no-nonsense guy calls the hot spots. But this is where it's telling you, this after this fractal here, you need to put buy limits below that. That's apparently a big deal. Besides the true range of that last bar, I'm not talking about 1 point something percent. I'm talking about reality each fucking day. Like right now, people got sell stops here. People got buy stops here. I'm sure people that trade breakout systems, you can see their trade right now. It's a quiet day in gold. I think I'm going to put a buy stop here. I put a sell stop here. Yeah, there's somebody running that. And if they get out of some of it by here and realize that, it's almost coming into my buy limit, and this is where the revolving door of trading like that, and of course, it's not easy, because if you're going to do that with large positions, you better have laid all that track like domino stuff. But the other problem is, after those orders are filled and killed, you could come back and do the same fucking stupid trade again, but you got to put the order in again. Nobody wants to do that. They either want to get a robot to do it, and it's a real fucking it is so retarded. Trading is so literally retarded that people want to make it like, if I just had the this and that, and yeah, but dude, it's down like if it's down $3.50, who's not going to come in and buy that and run it up so it's only down $2, and then maybe plunges later, but it's creating this these lattice of tickets that's kind of organically laid out, right? So the robot could do that in a sense if it kept laying orders in front of the market, 10 pips in front that lasts for an hour. And so I have like something that'll do that. It just does it every hour regardless of the true range per bar. So, there is kind of a flaw there. I'd say if you had a blind bot, you would just launch a hedge bot. It would just launch in Asia, irregardless. And what would define the profitability would be what you choose to be like a 1 to 5, 1 pip apart, 5K each leg. It streams in. Every pip it goes up, it picks up another ticket, but also you have a unique stop for each of those, and you have a unique take profit, and nothing kind of overlaps. And 2/3 of the position you're out of by the time you're going for maybe a burst wave, right? Now, this is just a 10K in total, 5K above, 5K below, if you can imagine. Stop entry, 1 pip apart, to make it so it's terraced in. Because you don't want to fill the whole thing back and forth. And how often are you going to press this button? These tickets last for a fucking hour. You're laying 10K down every hour going. You keep betting on the same fucking horse. Oh, actually, you're betting on the market, not going somewhere. So the longer it doesn't go anywhere, the more you keep churning this hedge in. You keep loading the hedge. And also, you can be a little bit more. If you're keeping track of when you buy and sell, you could buy when it's down and sell when it's up. But then you kind of got to keep track, because if you have it all written in one ticket where it just gets in either at the market hedges or even, at the market hedge, so you're guaranteed to lose a leg, but that's your first, you have to lose that, right? It's cheaper than the wider stop. That's why you would want to do that. It's cheaper than the wider stop. And if it's going to have a nice, because what the market goes the other way, right? So if the ratios are so extreme compared, and then you have a tight spread, and you could sit there, and now here's where you could be a sniper. You're sitting there, you're waiting for the spread to go to zero, and you hit the button. You load in a hedge when the broker offers you zeros. You're trading the broker's data. Not only are you trading the market, but you're trading the spread of that broker, and you want to lock it in. So yeah, if you're trading standard lots and your broker's giving you commissions and you're babysitting this puppy, and you're just like, I get like zero spread, and if the take profit is 3 and the stop is 1.5, you can only imagine how you can keep making $30 all day long, right? 25 bucks. I mean, you're just going boom, standard lot, very tight, stop. You put $20 stop, but you could trade in directionally like that too. If you don't mind losing $20 every trigger pull, but I don't see the point, because I could lay them in a half a pip apart and absorb way more punishment than sitting there with. I used to get cheaper. The more you trade, the cheaper you get, I suppose. You just start looking at everything as a trade. It's like, oh my God, the car, really? I had somebody hit my car just now. I come up, the guy goes, hey, is that your black car out there? I go, well, it's purple. I mean, what are you trying to be polite? I've got a purple car. Oh, well, yeah, I'd like to think it was black. Some guy fucking tagged my car. So, yeah, it's like getting stopped out a little bit, but what are you going to do? It's rough out there. I would definitely love to have traded gold here as it plummeted and retraced. Look at all these delicious trades on here have nothing to do with the trend. It's just nothing but it's up, it's down, it's up. I mean, that to me is trading. Now, investing in gold, and like when my kids are like 80 years old, or another 40 years, gold will be at like God knows what. Gold's kind of struggling with this floor that it put in back on the monthlies, so it could be still trapped up here for. People have these lofty kind of like gleam in their eye, and if No Nonsense is recommending gold, I don't know. Maybe he's in with the big banks. He says he's got him and ICT. But the big bank thing, man, it just kind of gets under my skin. It just feels like oh, we just couldn't be able to figure out we just can't figure it out for ourselves. I mean, I've never felt like the banks could see my tickets. I don't know. Or even like, my tequila buddy thought the broker was looking at him. He'd blow up a demo account, and he thought that the guys that ran the brokerage firm were laughing at him. I said, I don't think it could be. I mean, he was drinking tequila intentionally in trading. So, when people are acting like that, they're not trying to be serious. You gotta love that. That would be a good mentorship. I think there should be more hammered traders that are just like, no, dude, sit down here. First, get some whiskey. Here, let me show you how to scalp. Yeah, that's part of the mentorship. Yeah, bring your own whiskey night. But go to the meetup group. Go to a meetup group and just sit down and get the Australian dollar up here. Hey, get some of that Australian beer, by the way. Yeah, do a country by fundamental analysis. This beer kind of sucks. Let's short the Australian dollar. That's Australian for beer. So, yeah, the all these currencies. I used to look at that New Zealand and the Australian dollar, and it's very appetizing. I must say, most indicators respond to up and down, but you look at the spread, and then you look at how illiquid it is, and you just think, wow, man, let's go trade corn. Or let's go trade oats. Have you ever traded oats, man? This is like you're watching, you're like, God, I'm paying for this service. Like, how am I paying for this data? I think that's really what happened. Forex was free, and people just couldn't handle it. The exchanges just freaked out. But yeah, we almost made it down here, man. Look at this. Anything below here, I was a buyer on gold. I think that was the obvious trade plan. I think it's over now. We could drift up now, maybe. I go to the 4-hour chart. I traded on the 4-hour chart, but I'm not going to do it. It's just too much, too time consuming. I can't take it. Obviously, I would have gone short here. I'd be up on the scalp at least. I'd be up and out. Hopefully, it's not a lot of pips here or a lot of cents. See, that could turn out to be an amazing winning trade. It could just keep spilling down. And you'd say, I sold up here, but typically you want to take something away here and then put another sell limit up there and keep playing the same game. Put a buy limit here, put one here. I would say definitely a lot of buyers on gold down here. You got to be right. Who's not buying if we dip down here? Don't forget the end of the world's coming. But gold could either go this way or weasel here, scream up. I'm going to give it the symmetrical scenario into the future. So we're either going to consolidate, maybe do a little stop hunnage here, and then cyclically speaking, we can project the next fractal is going to be yay. Yeah, it's either going to be like this. You make some bullshit. Look at Jana Forex, Take the Jana approach. It's like this. She had a Forex. Bless her heart. She's like, yeah, I'm selling gold here, and we're just going to go fucking... Some guy inside of no nonsense said he thinks he's going 1600, but then it's going to go to 1850 or 1860. I'm sorry. He said he was going to go to 1600 and then to 860. $860. Now, that is pretty radical. I think it's going to go to 1600, and then it's going to come back to... Well, that your Gartley must have extra Gart to it. You put the Robinacci and the Gartley together in a pot, and you made like a soup, a brew, some porridge. They have Forex porridge out here. Mildred, bring me the Forex spoon, please. The ladle. Bring me that ladle. So yeah, I do love this radical. Look at this little notch here. Anybody catch this one? So here's one of those backfill, all the bears are just loving this ride down here. Don't forget they sold this top. They're like, God damn it, man. We sold here. We're just running a trailing stop. At this point, they are literally, they cannot lose. They will stop out at this, then they cancel replays, cancel replays, cancel replays, cancel replays, boom. They're out. They made money all the way into this trap. They did so well. Then here comes the sellers. They want to go like this. Big fucking retracement, but comes up and notches that. So once it crushes this mini vac, after annihilating this vacuum, so I'm seeing that the hole's being filled for me. I don't see the price so much as like, where is this thing going to gush into? We could still backfill here again. We could play this nonsense game like this. The market is very torturous to any trend trader because even the bears are going like, okay, some guy out there. Okay, there's some guy, trust me, that sold here. He saw it here and he's like, holy fuck. And he's like, man, should I? Or he already got stopped out. Maybe he has a real conservative wide stop. He gave the market a lot of room. I like that one. Well, what I'm going to do here is, dude, how big are you in these trades? I actually thought that the no-nonsense guy, when he said 1.25, I thought he's putting a $1.25 stop. This guy's fucking scalping this thing. Like, my eyes went right to the 125. I didn't see the ATR. And his percent of ATR, don't forget. This is a 1 point. He's putting a little bit of a buffer on it. I don't know. Such a smooth market, that gold market. Is it really? Let me take another zoom out on the daily. Let me see if I get some confirmation here. Wait. I'm going to take away my navigator thing for a second. At least he didn't say the word confirmation. Man, I almost get I got like a tick from watching these videos of his. He turned down the music so far. So I couldn't handle his intro music. So instead of him finding a better song, he just turned it down, but he turned it way down. And now he's trying to do psychops. He's got it down so fucking low. I'm like, I kind of want to turn it up, but then his voice is going to come in and just annihilate me. Guy's really doing it. The guy studied psychological. How does he get 1 million views about the big banks? He's playing some kind of Jedi mind game. Unbelievable. Real torture. Okay, let's go to this chart here. It's too funny, man. Every time I watch his videos, I'm like, it's like the password game without the password. Does anybody remember the password game? And the password is there isn't one. Oh fuck, brutal. Yeah, look at this harebrained market. So I think that the scalpers are up a little bit on that one. I'm a buyer. I'll buy gold. This is what I'll do. I would buy here. I would buy here and there, and I just walk away. If I was an investor in gold, I'd do the same damn fucking trade. I mean, that's just, and maybe this one turns out to be the long-term trade. Now, this would be your long-term trade. Big fucking wide stop on that one. This one's going to be your, okay, you know what? This is going to be my market maker, and maybe this one's got a target here, and this you're going to stop and reverse, go the other way. This is going to be your scalp, and you probably could put, I would say after this is, I would definitely not ignore this price here, this notch, into this blue pool, and here I would just, every dollar I'm buying, like, do I have to place that order coming in the Sunday? I don't think so. I don't think we're coming down there anytime soon. So obviously we're trapped in between this. We're in the middle of fair value right now, right? So right at the pivot, we're about to break this trend line possibly. You want to chase into that? Yeah. If you're an investor, I'd say buy a little bit. How much are the commissions? I heard they, was it Charles Schwab? When I was just talking about how I didn't like commissions on stocks, I thought the stock market was too commission heavy, or something. They said they're going to do a commission free or something, spread free. Okay, so I'm just sitting here in $78 in margin. So I'm letting the account coast here. I don't see any drama, so I could go looking for trouble here real easily. I just go for looking for anything that's down. That'd be a nice friendly dashboard to go to, some site that tells you what's the most fucked up instrument on the planet right now. Is it corn? Is it the Russell 2000, whatever this shit these people are all got the zigzags on their screen. What else you got? They like all the, do they have a world stock market index? Like all the stocks in the world? How about the Ukraine? Should we invest in there? Because is that like the new frontier of like, since they're sobering up there, should we all get some rubles going? Anybody look at a ruble chart? I'm sure that, what is there, like 128 currency pairs if you really wanted to go berserk. You can trade silver, you can trade palladium. But yeah, I remember when silver was at $50. Man, it was crazy. But dude, that thing sold off $10 in like 2 days. It was brutal. And people get all giddy about this stuff. My God, man. Got bars of gold. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'd rather have a nicer car. I don't think I'm into like investing, I guess. Just give me a place to live. I'm good. I'll just sleep under a bridge and trade the euro dollar, the most manipulated currency. Yeah, so gold. Let's zoom out one level. Take it to the next level. Yeah, get a look at this thing. What the fuck is going? This is really smooth data for you? On what planet? Man, look at those Williams fractals. I guess it does clean up. It does take the noise out every 5 bars. Look at gold. Holy fuck. What a monster. You got an algo for that? You gotta be kidding me. You don't have one for that. Come on. Look at that fucking thing. What a mess. Let me guess. This is what you think. Well, I guess I can see it. If I sit here and stare at it for a little bit. I see this is the loneliest fractal here. This is the outlier. Big auction here. And I did a video about this, and the guy says, you can't do that. I said, yeah, you can. You can look at these fractals and use that as your buy zone. And once you see that, and then it comes and closes there, and it's off to the races, you're like, holy shit, I guess I should have had a bunch of orders in here. Then you take the same idea and you say, give me these 2 lonely wicks here. Oh, this is a good place to buy down here. Fuck yeah. But look at all the little drama here in between. If you look at these fractals, it's like an envelope. It's kind of like top becomes a bottom, zing, ding, 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 ding. Boy, when they cut through this, man, I bet the fucking hedge funds, I bet them institutional traders are like, we be buying that. Yeah, no shit. And then the guy that martingales into that, so the deeper it goes, yeah, it's got gold at 1200? Come on. This could almost be support down here. Gee, it almost tagged it. The critical thing is, this is a $50 handled gold chart. How big is your position? And when do you think the next trade's going to pick you up? Are you going to get picked up tomorrow? Next week? Are you going to worry about that fucking trade? Are you going to stare at a goddamn indicator to tell you what to do, really? What's happened to people's minds? I like indicators too. I do like a nice tachometer. When I was a kid, I thought, if I just had a tachometer, man, that'd be like cool. I could see the RPMs before I put it in gear, so it don't hurt anything. But yeah, that. I guess is what guys are trading. They want it to be like a car ride or something. Alrighty then. It is doing this. Williams fractal is very objective. It has no bias to it. It has no. It's just 5 bars. It looks at 5 bars, and if it sees a hump, that's what he calls it, a hump. But yeah, that's quite the mess to me. I suspect what No Nonsense is aiming at is, well, I can see it. I can see his entries on here. I think he'd probably buy here where the ATRs are kind of quieted down, because even by this time, and he probably picked up some. I can see the move. I can see the 50 period moving average in their trade. I mean, you can see. Oh, hey, listen. It's above the 100-day moving average, obviously. That's down here. We all know that. The question is do you trade this and make $3,000, or do you trade this and make $3,000, or do you trade this and make $3,000? Because if you trade this to make $3,000, that's kind of not that hard to do, right? You get in here, The harder thing to do is say, well, fuck, I'm going to buy every goddamn pullback. I'm so fucking bullish, I could die. I don't think you want to buy here necessarily. And maybe by the time it took this out, this must have meant something to some people. If you cannot see this void being a big fucking deal, and it goes so far back, you can't even see the beginning of it here. That once we scream through that, yeah, if you had sell limits peppered in here in a 100 pip range, you made money. That's right. You could have laid a minefield in here, but here's where the problem is. It keeps doing that fucking thing. You got to keep doing that same trade. Right? So you have to be able to see that stupidity of the market and just put the fucking orders in and go, this market's fucking retarded. So you have a retarded trade strategy. Just the crudest fucking thing you can think of is buy here on limits, put a linear grid in, walk away. Yeah, put a stop down here if you care. But if you're investing in gold, why the fuck would you care? An investor would just take every opportunity to load up. Now here's where it gets ugly for the investor. If he's getting waiting for confirmation, he gets in here, and he has to endure this pullback. And if he's trading really big, he might freak out and put a stop and it gets stopped out. That's the daily chart, and that goes back to fucking year. At least, it goes back September 18 here. Just a little bit over a year on this chart. So, look how subtle it is down here. Now, before this thing leaves the station, it really starts to scream. And it's very volatile now. Look how choppy it is. Notice the volatility without using ATR. Do a visual inspection of that. It's whipsawing in about 70 pip range. The whole time the stock market's going berserk. Now this is either distribution or reaccumulation for another move up. In Wyckoff, it's a larger version of that. It just keeps going sideways and then they mark it up and then it goes sideways. It consolidates. Or this is kind of like it for gold, I don't know. I mean, I'm not betting on it because of like if you're trend trading it, you're going to sell right here, right now. You're going to say, this is the new channel that's going to come down here. What else could you be? Well, you could think of a lot of things. Maybe it's just overbought. And maybe you're getting a reversal in RSI. Now you will get, if this is really screaming up, RSI will be more overbought and the price is lower. So RSI is inverted, or you have a hump there and then there's then give you this kind of. But here the signals are coming from, well, just structurally speaking, this is a triple top, and that's a triple bottom right there. It's a really intense $5 consolidation. This so-called manipulation is this is the cause. The effect is very swift. That's like 90% to 1. Okay, all of this chop. So here you're trapped above the 5-yard line. The buyers did come in there. And then here comes the auction, guys. They'll buy that. Come back to fair value right in the middle. So right now you're in fair value, and you also just split in here right now. So you have this balance point here. Coming into the end of the week, so volatility's drying up. There's a lot of nice little, I would say, if I'm going to scalp it, I'm just going to trail buy limits here for like 8 and 12 hours. I can't think of any other, and if they go further out, say these last all month, yeah, by the time the market gets down here, there's so many people buying there. That's such a high probability reversal zone on some level, and even if it's not, oh well, don't put your life savings in any one trade. But these are obvious traps, for the bears. Bears are selling. Oh, look at it. It's going to keep tanking and it's going down. And it's not like nobody's going to buy down there, but all this hemming and hawing, there's a lot of interested parties. And this is the, I think Wyckoff calls it the, what's he call this phase here? But, these things are just, classic. Look at this insane swingage. And look at that wick, man. They just trounced somebody there. And boom. I don't think there's just no one trade that you can. Boy, the gold market, pretty crazy. I must say, it's too much. It's just too much work to have to worry about this and then writing a script for the. When you've written, you gotta add 2 zeros to every fucking forex script to run on. Why would you bother? I did it when they let me out of Cyprus, but it's like, okay. At that point, I was writing nano scripts for gold, and it was perfect because it really was like trading forex as far as the risk. But silver was brutal because it's 5,000 ounces, and boy, silver, people get annihilated. It's like trading the euro to the yen or the pound to the yen, and that's vicious. I think it's kind of thinner market than gold. God, palladium's probably vicious. I really look at a 1 minute copper chart if you want to really be like, wow. Here's the dollar yen on the monthly. So on the 4-hour chart, to me, on the currencies, because gold doesn't open up Sunday night, the forex opens before, so forex to me seems a lot softer. Okay, so here's the daily dollar yen. So I'm still trying to it's just as wiki as any gold market. I think these are more actually dynamic breakouts on here. So here was a nice scalp on the daily. Had you placed your tickets here on this deep shelf, and then this one goes deeper, so I'd make this a bigger ticket, and here I put my biggest tickets, but no fill. So you've already scalped to the floor. This is the last support, the deepest support. This one for sure, right? So I'm going to buy from here down because I like to buy this standalone lonely outlier wick. That's the ultimate of auctions there. It was earlier as it crashed through the 50-yard line here and just clean down, but notice the bigger tickets start here on this shelf. So this is where you're really loading up, and of course some of these have to cash out into here, so the whole trade plan just exists in this little box. That's a very high probability. Certainly you could ride it all the way to here, and it seems to, it closes about where these dojis are, these hammers. But this is where the sellers, the sellers wish they would have come up here because that's real easy money ripping back to this. High probability kind of trade there. And then, but no, you had to settle for kind of selling, just going against the grain, man. Being a reversal trader, which is a lot more pips and more trades. See, the reason why you have to trade reversals is because that's where the frequency of high probability trades are, and the trend trades are just so, like, if you have the more filters you put, the less signals you're going to get. But if you look at the true marketplace, the way the market sees the price, where it hasn't been there in a while, so it's an unpopular price that, it's kind of like an uncharted water. The market's kind of died down. And now when things start to heat up because people are kind of... look at the stock market sell off in the first day of October. Gee, what a surprise, huh? Had nothing to do with the news. Didn't have anything to do with jobs report or any of that bullshit. People say that, but it's fake news. Seriously, there's other numbers that suck way bigger dick than that. They did not make the market do shit. Why not the Rocket Man launching? People just queue it up to whatever. It's like read tea leaf reading, really. It's all bullshit. So all you have to do is look at the price. Even when if you're looking at the daily chart when FOMC comes out, look at the who's ever did this trade, please make a comment if you did this trade earlier. There's a guy talking about the market. A broker rigged it. Anybody that did this one where they had sell limits up on this lonely island. You also had sell limits here on the daily in this 25 pip window, but look at this. You sell up here with a 50 pip stop, and in 2 days you make how many pips again? The trend traders would have said, yes, can't you see the 20 EMAs right here? I mean, this is an obvious trend trade on our system, and maybe they did catch that, Of course, it's piercing the 20 EMA here. You would really want to get on the short train. You're allowed to. Your baseline says you're in sell mode. Naturally. Here too, right? But the guy that buys here makes just as money as the guy that sells in the trend, so I don't get it. That's right. I don't get it. Because the guy that buys here and the guy that buys here, and he dumps into the seller's window, yeah, he's doing pretty good too. And the person that's waiting for this area to be tagged maybe and rides it all the way back. And here's where the trend traders on a very short 3-period moving average probably get in here. So the guy that has a 3-period EMA, he's like buy, sell, sell. He gets kind of trapped. Market's so vicious. See, you don't want to smooth this data out. In the end, it's kind of like, you don't want a girl with fake breasts, fake eyebrows, tattooed eyeliner. It's pushing it. She's half bionic. I don't know. Trading to me is like, this raw data is so psychotic. Why would you want to ruin it? Don't ruin it with the ikamushus don't put ikamushu on your charts. The Gartley thing. Yeah, I know. We all love a bikini, but should it be on your chart? Come on. Are you able to make money there? Yeah, I get it right at the I get right in here on the strap area. That's my entry. That's my secret. I'm taking into account the width of the bra strap. People don't know when you do a Gartley, you have to put that math in there. No wonder I was getting in kind of early. Huh. Yeah, that Gartley stuff, that's another rabbit hole of insanity. And Robinacci blows that away, for God's sakes. We all know that. That's a classic. Yeah, look at this scatterbrain market. So this would have been a great scalp today. We could have done it. But I'm just looking at one. I mean, I can only babysit one crisis at a time. I think the people that, like I said, it's better to farm this stuff out to somebody that's going to do this trade for you. Like, I wouldn't do that because I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to put in like a stack of orders here, and then all of a sudden when this gets triggered, I need this margin for something else inside the account because I trade pretty much straight out on whatever I'm trading. I'm scalping heavy. I'm hedging now, so it allows me to cushion the equity. It's kind of insurance policy, but I'm not big on insurance policies because I feel like I can never cash in. I once had so many tickets that I had a really high insurance. I asked the guy that if I drove good for 3 years, could I have my insurance money back? Because, obviously he was overcharging me. And he said no. So I said, well, I think I'm going to get in an accident then near the end of the policy. And he said, you shouldn't do that. No, he got the joke, but yeah, the hedging definitely is insurance you may never use. Or you could just say, I can sell a little bit here. I can buy a little bit here. And you can just be dancing with the market, kind of back and forth. I'll buy a little, sell here. And then when it goes gushing your way, yeah, you're going to lose your one leg of that. When the market decides. And then it frees you psychologically from having to have the market's never going against you then. See, so it goes down 5 pips, you buy. It goes up 4, you sell. Okay, you've got a locked-in winning hedge. Now you've got this. Another problem is they're actually up on the trade. Should you get on both legs? Okay, every move has its another decision attached to it if you're conscious, And if you are going to trade 10Ks now, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's going to be like that. And that, you'd have to think a little bit more, right? Because now each decision costs more. I think the goal is to have the decisions be not harshing the account, right? You don't want to harsh your free margin. And I got a lot of free margin now, so yeah, I could do some harebrained trade, but I'll probably maybe throw some limits out just before London opens. I could throw them in the British pound. All I have to do is throw an array in, a pack. I've got them here. Now, I might make like $50, but I'm only risking 25. And then what I can put in, and that's actually the total risk if the whole scheme should fail. So maybe I only lose $13, or maybe I only make $13. So not having such a rigid approach, this algorithm, just the whole word just freaks me out. Like, really, you got this, like, yeah, that's how I find girls on the internet. Like, well, your profile's like dialed in. Yeah, you put a raincoat on. You smoothed out your profile too much. It looks like a raincoat chart. It's like, I'm looking for a fella. That would be cool. I'm looking for a hot girl that can trade. Yeah, with your ad. Trade? What is he talking about? Is he human trafficking? You can't even crack that joke now. It's like when you get on the airplane, you can't say, hey, do you mind if I bring my bomb on the plane? And I think that's so wrong. It's not like I'm yelling fire in a crowded theater. Is it? Like, fire on the plane? Yeah, that's bad too. Right, it's not like I'm yelling bomb in a crowded movie theater. I guess you shouldn't say it anywhere. We used to say that's the bomb when we were kids. Like, oh, that's the bomb. That's the bomb. You can't say that anymore. I guess if you say it, how about lip balm? Got any lip balm? Haul you to jail. It's tough out there. So, market's dead as fuck. It might as well be Friday. It is Friday over there. I don't know if anybody's entertaining themselves with this British pound. I don't know. It's too funny. But look at this British pound. Look at the bears just attack this thing today on this vacuum up here. Man, just like, see, this is way more drama than the euro. The euro did the same move, but look how brutal this was. If you had your sell limits on that just below the round here, do you realize that you didn't even have to look at that chart this whole month? You had that order in there from last month on here. So here, I'll show you the secret trade. You don't need a 15-minute chart for this. Is also the beauty of this technique, as they say. I would sell here, right, on something, and then I would sell a little more. But when we got to here, I'd be like, oh yeah, we're selling. And I'd be prepared to sell all the way to here. So you got to fill it at the 100-yard line. I think you're up about at least 50 pips on that right now. You could have been up 70 earlier. I can't see. I have to go to the 4-hour chart to verify that. But these are psychologically difficult for people to trade because I don't think, this is not indicator city. This is just literally into the void. And the justification is that this is a 8-hour rooftop here. This is really critical price, and that is the top of that day. And then this, people are like, oh, fuck, who's not selling above that? But this is the next shelf. I'd start selling here all the way to here. I would cash out to here for the high probability thing. Start selling here all the way up. Put a 100 pip stop on all these tickets. Starts to come back. You got your, I'll take 20, 50, maybe some of these have 25 pip stops and you get stopped out. It's not going to go in a straight line, right? Comes up in there screaming. This is the 4-hour chart, so it's very possible you could finish out the week in some psycho smash. Comes up there, cash out, or it's just gonna do sideways nonsense, possibly cave back in. If that's the case, I got both trade plans running. I buy limits here at all times and sell limits starting there, Selling very heavily up here, of course, because that doesn't exist for the this side of the chart. Once you go here, it just keeps going back and back and back. This is the current vacuum that's being filled. So this is the cup and handle, so to speak. There's the rim of the cup. Are you going to keep going? Or are you going to just kind of go driftyville and meander around, just torture all the trend traders? Maybe it drips down, maybe it finally makes a move, and then it comes back. And I don't care. For me, I'm a guy that buys here. On limits, buy more. That's me. Buy more here. Sell more, sell more, sell morest, sell the most morest. Martingale wins because you put a master stop in here, maybe the tippy top. It's a good trade plan. Worked out here. Sell. Whee! Oh, gee, I don't know why you'd want to do that trade. Here you say, you know what? Here's where you got crushed. You buy here, you buy here, you buy. So there you get annihilated. But this is why you need to be short into this. You need to run dual trade plans. You need a sell stop. Why put a sell stop here? Because this is the smallest bar. We're not talking percent of ATR. Bar by bar. It's just too simple. Buy stop. Sell stop. I would put in a bigger buy stop and a bigger sell stop and a really bigger. Triple the size now. Now it quadruple the size and let it go. These bars do not qualify for stop entry. You missed the entry. Yeah. You could buy here as it's crushing. They stop you out, but I would buy way more here. And why does the market reverse here? Because I'm not the only one that buys a pant load as it drops 200 pips. That's what the big banks are doing. All the big banks are doing is absorbing. They don't trade with stops. I mean, they don't trade with stops, and they don't really trade high leverage. So to them, this move is like nothing. But they just have so much money they're trading, right? It's giant chunks of money. And here they completely clean up. They come all the way back to here, and the sellers come in, and they all get off the train there. Even the smart money. That's nothing. Just pisses me off. What's the smart money? Yeah, the winning trade. You talking about the winning trade? Well, the dumb money's like selling down here. No shit, Sherlock. That's why double bottoms don't work out, right? Yeah, you put your fucking buy limit here and you just assume this is a double bottom. Well, how do you know? You gotta get confirmation, wait for it to close up, and then you know that this is a confirmed bottom. What are you, fucking retarded? Dude, you just buy there. Well, I don't do that. I wait till it's up here, and when it's up here, I'm like, okay, I'll buy. This double bottom seems to be holding. I hear that. I also hear that. I'm like, you kidding, right? Really? I just don't get it, man. But this is it. People love that. And then they want to, I was asking about the prop firm, people want to just go, you know what? If I could just make like 10% a month. Yeah, sure. Trading $3 million, making 10% a month. That's all you're going to make. But what if you're losing, what if you're making 15%, you're losing 5%? Now how do you feel? You really think you're going to make 10% a month? That means you did one trade. There must be, sometimes you're not, 1 month you're making 20%, next month you're making 0%, and at the end of the year you say I made 10% a month. That makes a big difference. Making 10% a day is different than making 10% a month. Look at this Biden's son making a chunk. Shit, he doesn't need any leverage. It's great when your dad's in the business. Incredible. Yeah, my son the tard. Come along, son. If his son was retarded, it would be okay. But his son, I don't think his son's stupid, so he's just riding the gravy train there. The nepotism of it all. You don't have that in the market. You know, the market's a very fair game, really. You're just trading against the goobers here. Got top bottom there. A 4-hour chart, but yeah, I know there's sellers up here. If I'm a seller, I'm selling up there all the way to there. Sell some kind of spill back. Maybe I don't get it. Now, if that's the case, the market goes sideways. I just start hitting the hedge key. You could have gotten a hedge here and wrote it down. The true range of every bar picks up. There's only one other entry here for a hedge. Here's a hedge little burst. Once we fill this little vacuum. Here's another hedge entry. You get a nice burst there. That's a nice run. Maybe a little trapped lung there on a couple tickets, but boy, you make up for it. There's another nice hedge entry. 8 hours of nothing. Boom. Buyers coming at that wick. Okay, I'm up 81 cents. I think I should buy it in the market. I'm in the euro dollar again. So here's the epilogue to the euro dollar today. We had this fantastic run, which was obvious. We were going to go after the highs from way back on this thing. We took out the high of this blue thing, crushed through. We made it all the way to this bottom here. Damn it. Oh, let me adjust the chart here. I tagged the round number, but here was my deep sell limits. Well, my cash outs, so to speak. I just cashed out there. But I know I had them set. I remember they were above here. This was the big zone. And here too. So when you pop through that, but see this little trap, you break out there, and then it comes back and crushes, and then it goes up. So I went flat here, then I bought on limits. You see these are the orders I put in on this one. I put some on the tablet that were tighter. They were 2 pips below. Really aggressive because, this only pulls back 12 pips in Asia. It's very quiet currency. That's another thing, these things are just in their own little world, It's not like anything. Each one's unique. See, here's my buy limits. So I got picked up on those. And I might have got stopped out. See the red marks here on some of these. I also bought at the market. I think it's some of that. Look at this nice, beautiful on the 30-minute chart. That trend line, just beautiful. Just big trap here. Great place to put the sell limits is right here. Once it smacks that vacuum, man, does it come whipping back. Amazing. Now we're drifting up. So I feel like buying at the market here and chasing a little bit more because I'm only in $70. Is pretty wimpy position, I must say. Not good. So I feel like I'm losing money right now because I can't get to the fucking navigator here to pull the trigger. So I got a navigator. I'm going to go buy at the market and start scalping now. Five pips to make 14. Oh shit. I'm clicking too fast here. 6 to make 10, 6 to make 12. All right, so I'm gonna get up to like $150 a margin here real quick. Pretty tight stops. Not gonna give any space to this thing. 8 pips is my widest stop. And another problem is that trying to get that size in before the market moves here. We got about okay, it's 5 minutes after the top of the hour. It's 7 o'clock. 7:05. Looks like a continuous drift up to the end of the week here. I'm gonna just I want to get a burst out of this. Get to 150 bucks a margin. I'm gonna go for an aggressive 10 pip stop. 10 to make 40. That's pretty undoable. 10 to make 20 is more doable. So yeah, on the guppy, you could come in here and say, yeah, let's get those let's get out those 18 pip stops to make 28, 35 to make 22, 50 to make 100. This is my biggest market order I'm running. Now I could double click the shit out of that, and I probably will not get stopped out of my 50 pip stop. I would have to say, current market dynamics, just going to the 4-hour chart and looking at this, is the big black lines are 100 pips. So if I buy here with a 50 pip stop, I mean, I can take some drawdown there. The thing to do would have been really load up here on this pullback on the 4-hour. So that's a completely legitimate trade in my book, is that if it's down on the 4-hour, you're buying at the market. So you would have bought here at 5 o'clock very heavily. 2 hours ago, you would have pulled the trigger very heavily right when the brokers roll over there. And the spread probably was not that great at that point. So that's another thing, is that it's funny that the 4-hour chart updates here. Look at this sheer candle. There's a shaved candle there right at the pivot, right at this top become a bottom there, and just kind of like this was the big time move, double top, tanks. The breakout bots come in heavy here because you have a small 4-hour bar, so they really load up, or you would if you looked at the chart 6 times a day. And here, look at this nice doji with a small range. Kind of like that is where you kind of making money on both legs, kind of, but then getting kind of chopped. This, I'm sure every bull wants us to go out and just blow out the top of that next 4 hours, but every little bit it's going up, I like to take something off. So I could write a less greedy market order here that's just going to make like 5 pips and just keep clicking the shit out of that ticket, right? Maybe even risk 7 to make 5. This is better than a lottery ticket, because if you just keep nailing that, you know when to nail it. Yeah, you can just be like click, 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 click. I mean, I could get into 28K very quickly. If the broker can keep taking that ticket, and if that is the case, you probably do want to buy 1 pip deep, unless it's really taken off and you know exactly what you're doing, because you know what time of day it is, and you're like, yep, this thing, or there's news about to come out, and it's like a squeeze into the news, or it's just taken off, and you're just, because you're just not going to find that very often where you're allowed to chase the market like that and really pile into it. I've seen people build robots to supposedly do it, but that broker has to be willing to take that market order quick, and you're dumping as you're taking, but you're double, triple, quadruple your money kind of tickets here, and I got them. But you got to be sitting there and looking at, oh yeah, look at this thing here, and then 4 hours ago you would have fucking loaded up here if you did not have your limits placed precision there. It's really kind of, you really have to babysit the 4-hour chart. You're kind of a slave to the clock. I mean, this idea that you're going to trade and your life's going to be so easy because you're a trader and you just don't have to. You still got to look at the fucking thing every day. I mean, you can look at this shit. This is a 4-hour chart, and you can think, oh gosh, should I buy there? Should I sell there? Yeah, okay, should I get out? Am I up? Yeah. It's worse than a day job, I think. I mean, a day job's easy. It's linear, Friday you go get drunk, Sunday you sober up. Well, I guess same thing in the market. You can be a drunk trader too, I suppose. I guess those people's dream is to just like, but no, it's a pain in the ass. I wonder if the dollar Swiss is tanking because the euro's going up. That's the conventional wisdom. Stuck in the mud here. Look how tame this thing is. Wow. Look at this. Look at how this thing breaks out. Nice clean breakout there. Here, the trailing sell stop. Get in like a turtle trader. Yeah, you triggered. Look at this. 50 pips clean in 4 hours. Volatility dries up. Breakout. Rip up. So this is what's blowing people's minds. That you could just do a buy stop, sell stop, sell stop. You get filled long and you're up 50 pips in 4 hours. It took you 12 hours of it took you 4 hours to build a hedge or even bracket that. 8 hours to build a hedge. Dojis, get in, buy stops, sell stops. They're at the market. How'd that trade work out? Another 50 pip winner. I just think it's so stupid. You just got to be willing to put that trade on, and you don't have to backtest that. You can see it works. You have to backtest a doji, man, then, you're in trouble. It also presupposes you're going to babysit markets looking for dojis. You're probably going to look at the doji and go, you know what? It's a bad baseline. ATRs are wrong. And my one candle rule is really just, man, I'm never going to be able to get in this trade. I couldn't handle being like, I just couldn't handle it, man. I'd be like, no, I'm sorry. It's a perfectly good, look at this one down here. Look at this breakout. Come on. You need indicators for this shit? Man, look at this one down here. Jesus, look how rambunctious this thing can get. Here's your classic. Unfair value. Falls in a hole. Double bottom. 4 hour chart. A little more work. But yeah, I'm just buying this whole thing. Sellers are supposed to come in here. Sorry. Probe this area. A little pullback. Now here's where I put the sell limits in. So I can ride it back to here. A lot of people are buying here. Nobody's getting filled down here now, though, so breakout traders make more money possibly on that sweep than the limit guys that have pendings down here and they're not getting filled. And the structure, you kind of overshoot the runway. This is such a brutal pullback. It kind of crushes through the closing prices here, but it does come back to relatively... My system looks at if you're down 50 pips in 4 hours, I'm getting in. If you're down 70 pips in 4 hours, I'm definitely getting in. Especially if it's structurally speaking here. If this is just way down, I would just not hesitate to buy something here. Here you don't really have a chance because this wick happened when you weren't there. That's why the buy limits being here are critical because you're not always going to get a chance to buy when it's down and sell when it's up. Now, if you sold here, this is what I say when this shallow pullback, you run a tighter stop to go long. And any tight stops are never a problem if you don't trade everything on a tight stop. Look at that sell window there. So here you have a double top in time. Here's where you trap the breakout traders. You have a delta here, trapped long. It makes one little baby. So having a sell ticket here is the same as having a take profit for your long. There's no difference. It's just difficult psychologically to think about driving your car in reverse all the way to work. So this, I'm a buyer down here below that. I'm a seller above here. Don't even have to trade this thing. Wait till they come and fill you. I mean, why babysit these assholes? These are the big banks. You know, the little banks just can't move the market, don't forget. It could be a combination of every fucking goober pulling the trigger. We just don't know. It's not for us to know. You know, it's like, it's almost a religion, these fucking indicators. It's fucking sick is what it is. People gotta get help. That's what I should have, a mentorship. Recovering indicator holics. Yeah, after all the people at in the Discord there at the No Nonsense, when they're on the suicide watch, I'll come and I'll talk them down off the ledge. Yeah, tell me about the time you what was it you did? You tweaked your relative vigor index? That's right. That's what we did, son. Let me show you something. Fire Marshal Bill trades forex. I gotta look at the navigator here. Okay, let's see if we could throw some limits in this one for kicks. I'm gonna go for the 12-hour bank because I just don't have. I'm not gonna care about this trade at all. So I got the 12-hour, 25 pips apart, standard operating procedure. This is a big giant swing trade. Now look at that. Now you could just keep nailing that every hour. If it's dropping, I would nail that every hour. And the beauty of that script, it's hard written. It's never gonna, as long as the market moves up or down, at least 10 pips. Pull the trigger on that same stupid trade plan. It's gonna stack them up. Of course, that if it's really ripping down, you know, want to overload it. But I would say this is good for a fast drop, a slow drop, definitely a 12-hour. But in Asia, you don't want to click this 5 times and go to sleep because you're just duplicating the same dumb shit trade. You really want to put in various dumb shit trades. So there's nothing magic here. I guess my strategy is I don't have one for the fact that I don't have all this criteria that's got to line up. I guess it's just an approach is all I have. The strategy kind of makes you think like, oh, you got this. Well, I guess it's like, are you a trend trader? Or are you a breakout specialist? No, I don't think this is going to fill 40 pips deep in 8 hours, but I'll show you what that looks like. Now, this is a great trade plan. I've overlapped 2 trade plans. Here is the aggressive 15 pips for 8 hours. 15 to 35 with a 50 pip stop. I like that. So I could let this thing bake, come back, maybe go for the single bank, which is more precision. I can see, okay, 12 hours, 40 pips, sure. 12 hours, 35 pips. These are singles. 30 pips, 12 hours. And the closer I get to the market, the more dangerous it is. And the more exciting, I suppose, because I could get filled. Here's 20 pips deep all day. Here is 50 pips deep for 8 hours. Now I'm getting kind of dangerous. So what I did was I made the time frame shorter down up at the top of the rack because it just makes sense, you know. Here's 11 pips for 8 hours. This is very aggressive. I think we could drop 11 pips in 8 hours and pick up this entry with a 15 pip stop to make 25. Here's a 15 to make 25. That is 30 minutes. So these are the exact same entry, which they probably shouldn't be. I should put a half a pip between them, but I didn't know how to, you know, you can't really put a decimal point in some of these things because Windows won't let you put in certain kind of words, I think. I don't know. I only want to try to fight it. I've tried to do certain things. Sorry, can't. That's an invalid. I like this 8 hours, 15 pips. Here's a 3 hours, 13 pips. That's less dangerous, I'd say, because you're putting a your own auction in there at that price, and you're saying, yeah, let me get in. So I like to do this since I wrote all these things, and there's more to write. You could just go nuts. At this time of night, if we're coming near top or bottom of the hour, I like to go like this. Let me get in every pip apart for 15 minutes for half an hour. Here's 5 pips, 30 minutes. Here's 6 pips, 30 minutes. So all the 30 minutes. So I'm daring them to crushed the dollar yen, which I could just focus on this now. I'm not very big into the euro dollar, and if the euro dollar goes up, maybe the dollar yen goes down because then there's a correlation for some odd reason. It wouldn't matter. It's the fact that if I can get in separate tickets here by double clicking and not have to drag and drop it. I do have drag and drops. I know exactly I put them here, but I'd rather just say, oh, let me just get in 7 pips in 1 hour because I know that ticket's going to be there. 8 pips in 4 hours. 15 to make 30. These are kind of scalps, really. Here's a 15 to make 40. 9 pips in 1 hour. And here's the same depth, but 8 hours, so yeah, we'll double up on that. Slightly different because the market's slightly moved. Here is 8 hours, 11 pips. And now I feel like let's get crazy at 12 pips for 2 hours and 12 hours. So it's 12, 2, and 1 hour. So I'll put a fat pack down here in martingale in. And then I go down here to say 15 pips. I love 15 pips. Here is a bad ratio, 30 to make 20, but we'll probably make her 20. Here's my classic, 20 pips deep all day, 20 to make 60. Now this is a big winner. I need some more of those on the daily. I'd like to put the dailies as swing trades, kind of, but trust me, if I'm up like $300 on this thing in one day, I'm probably going to cash out. I'm down 72 cents. So if I do this like juggling or spinning plates, it does look like the pound on the 1 hour is about to trigger the 1 hour breakout bots. Because look at the last hour is dead. And they just tripped it. The breakout bots just went long on the 1 hour pound. They could be being trapped here, and you could also have a hedge on that's like 60% long and 40% short. That's another thing is if you have a blend where you are like 70% long, 30% short, when it does reverse on you, you might even end up making 20%. Even, it's just a kind of a 20K spread. So you have 10K long and 10K short, and they have various kind of exits, and things are a little there, a little there, It's not for everyone because some people want to be, are you long or short? Nobody's like, well, I'm 80% long. I just don't see it out there. But this system has to be like that. Or, I'm totally long the euro right now. But at least I have, like if they come after my tight stops, I've got the deeper limits sitting down there. So I also have to remember as I'm staring at this euro that in the back of my mind I've got those yens pending out there. So it's a little burden on the brain. Like I said, in the real world, I would have this is a demo account. I would never commingle the currency pairs. I've done it a few times, but I just didn't. It wasn't as efficient because I can look at the euro and say, yeah, let's do this. We can make 10 pips. Let's do this. We can make, or let's just go on a campaign. That's what Wyckoff calls it, and just start accumulating and I can go for the non-directional stop entry hedges when the market's quiet. But that's my money manager too, and I could sell. I could sell on stops and yeah, it's funny. I don't like selling at the market that much. But on stops, I could see or having this buy stop sell stop rig, which it saves a lot of having to time the market. You're pacing the market instead of timing. As the market drifts, you start putting on this clunky mechanical trade, whereas the putting an order right at the wick tip on the daily is a precision entry based on the real market, Where the other stuff is just kind of like you're just canvassing the neighborhood with like, yeah, if we go smashing up there, who doesn't want to pick up a whole spectrum of, say there's 70K out there and 49 fills and then 27 cashes out and you're up and you could go flat on the whole account. I got to close all open and pending orders here. I don't use it because I'm too stubborn. I would never I would never go back on my decision to pull the trigger on one trade. So I just ride it out to the stop because I don't want to be second guessing myself. So I just go with it. And plus, if you have the hedge available for me, if I have the button available, I don't feel like if I'm going to use it, I don't feel like I have to be so eager to buy. I feel like I can wait for my limits to get filled because if I have the hedge available, I'm like, well, I could put a hedge on here and write it down, but I thought, nah, I don't think it's going to go down as much as if it does go down. And then I cancel that idea and say, then I'm not going to buy it at the market. Now I'm going to start putting in more limits. But then if I look back on the chart and I can see that now, and I did it that one night where I put in the hedge because it's drifting and almost as protection for my long. So it softened my long fill. But then it depending if you're going to run 75 pip stops to 35 pip stops, now you're a committed swing trader and you're actually looking for it to come down and really load up into your pocket. So do you really want to go short into the pocket? I mean, do you really want to try to squeeze a little ride into what you perceive to be the giant engulf that's coming? I guess you just have to find the comfort zone there, and there's plenty of chances to redo that. I mean, plenty of chances to practice what's going to happen there. It'd be like if you put on a piece of music you never heard before and you try to play guitar against it. You can kind of tell where it's going because there's a cliche phrasing, the 1632 bar stuff. The market's not exactly like that, but you can kind of get a feel like, oh, looks like we're kind of, you don't really want to overthink it. Because if you have a trade for drift, put it on. If you have a trade for screaming, put it on, and know when the other team's coming back to town. Because even though you've had your scalp fun, if you've trend scalp something, it doesn't mean that trend traders aren't going to come back in. And you're going to see hopefully you can see their entry because that's got to be your exit. If you're counter trend trading, you better know what the trend traders are doing. But we can see the no nonsense trade in there. We're not fucking retarded, okay? So we can see what he's doing. It's just so silly. I guess it's rehabilitation for people that are either, curious people and people that really are totally, they just feel like they don't have anybody to give them a guide, But there's so many fucking books out there. It's as if these people haven't read one fucking book on trading. Like their total source is no nonsense forex. Maybe they started in forex. This is what happened. They don't even know what RSI is or something. I don't know. Or they do and they say, oh, I got burned selling oversold. I was buying oversold and I got crushed. It's crazy. Boy, that thing doesn't work. Shit, god damn it. I mean, really? Did you? It's foggy out and they turn on the fog lights. Dude, you're doing 100 miles an hour. The fog light keeping up with that shit. I know, but they're fog lights. It says right on it. In the owner's manual. Didn't say nothing about doing 150 miles an hour. I know, but really? So I don't know. I love all the indicators out there. And the guy's like, well, we're selling an indicator this month. Now I want you to take a look at it. Kick the tires. Now you guys take it home and tell me what you think. Now you can dial the settings any way you want. But I will tell you, there's a disclaimer. I like the disclaimer. I'm just gonna put it right up front there, man. This is high risk. You know, it's like hitting a tree at 100 miles an hour. Very high risk. You could hit a tree. Man, look at this. Look at this euro screaming north. Now that I'm barely fucking in it. Thanks, forex. No, I like this plunge. I think this goes up. We could get in. I like the dollar yen. It's a little more spastic. But yeah, today's giveaway. If somebody can guess the next Fibonacci handle, they win a free trip to Cyprus to visit where they lost all their money when forex started. Visit your old forex broker. I'll tell you, that's a lot of work, man. Like, there was nobody to talk to. Everything was in a chat window or email. And you're like, wow, this is really... But I kind of like it, you know. I didn't like the broker telling me, well, that's not a good trade. What are you doing that for? I hate when the broker's like, are you kidding? You want to do that trade? Look at this thing kind of cut north. Yeah, the pound looks like it's going to take the ride with it here, so... It's going to join the party. I think sellers are up here for sure on this last known bottom. Yeah, let's start going. The dollar's cooked. Gold's going. Looks like gold's in a delta, ready to take a pop here on the weekly. Nice triangle here. I don't know, I think we're done stop hunting people here for a little bit. They're going to impeach the president. That's what's going to make it go up. Don't you understand how this works? Get to 1600 real quick here. And some dumb shit politician out there said that he's got to be in solitary confinement. Good Lord, people. Step away from your stupid brain for a little bit. Take a break from your insanity. It's so funny. It's just glorious time to be alive when somebody who's not a politician, it's like somebody who's not a trader going, let's make profits great again. And you got some shithead coming in and, now wait a minute, Mr. MACD shows up. What you're doing is very risky. We use MACD here. And you know what that stands for? Well, let me tell you. Yeah, I should do my own version of no nonsense. It's moving average convergence divergence. Oh my God. I'll never forget the first time I heard about MACD. I thought, God, am I going to need a separate brain? I'm going to need a lexicon for this fucking class. Dude, I studied so hard. I went to the symposiums. I was like, oh yeah. Look at this fucking moving average shit. Oh my God, it's perfect. Look at that entry. Then you put the trade on, you're like, wait a minute. Why am I losing? Oh, it's just, I kind of knew. Every trading book I read, I kept thinking, I didn't notice a trade plan in there. I didn't know what a trade plan. I didn't know that's what people called it, but I thought, I don't see where I was supposed to get in there again. Like, and how did that trade work out? I got a book here. I always talk about this Fibonacci by Robert Fisher, with logarithmic spirals and the compass, logarithmic compass that you can build and stuff. And that's 50 pages, and it's a $60 book, and he's got these beautiful Fibonacci cycles, like the 1, 2, 3 count with Elliott wave. Elliott wave meets Fibonacci meets fucking no Gartleys. It's pretty Gartley. And so, I'm looking at this thing, and I just stared, and I thought, yeah, those are fucking sweet setups. I never see those setups in the market. They're just like the noise-free triple bottom. And you look at the market, you're like, what a fucking mess. Look at this thing. Zigzag, zig, zig, zigzag, zag, zag. What the fuck? Yeah, no shit. And then I thought, wait a second. What if I just traded one zag? Do I hold through all the zigzags for the giant zag? Like, where are these people getting in these markets? And what the fuck's going through their mind when their equities just bobbing up and down? They're like, what the fuck? Damn, this is like crazy. And then, of course, I still haven't done the video about this guy that made $30,000. It's just hysterical. His attitude is amazing. But this is just too much fun, this trading shit. And all the approaches that people kind of come to it with, and join our signal service. And dude, if you need a signal, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Do you can't you just feel it coming, like the storm's coming? Like you're in a trade and you're like, it's kind of not working. It's just drifting sideways, man. And all of a sudden it just rips. The first time that happens to you, you're either long or short. You're either winning or losing on that trade. That's got to be really a stunning moment. When it's enough money for you to care about, that's got to register on your brain somehow. And then you're like, whew, do I want to try that again? Or want to do that again? I'd like to do that again. That was good. What did I even do right? So the first time maybe you made money, you're like, shit, I actually made a mistake. This is the worst, okay? You got some system you built and you get in the wrong direction and it's making money. You're like, fuck that. So you get out. Well, yeah, because you're like, see, that's just proof that you can make money, and the directions are irregardless. And all your analyzations, if you're going to get in so tight and not give the market any room, and you're only going to give it one chance to fill you, you're going to be so stingy. Yeah, you're really not going to ever. I like the idea of this. Okay, I could take I'll take a couple hits. I'm not looking to. I want to win the war, not the battle. I mean, each one of these is a battle, isn't it? The smaller, each trade plan, each little micro plan adds up at the end of the week. So if you can make $5,000 a week, or if you can make $500 a week with a $2,000 account, with a $5,000 account, I'm hoping you can make $300 a week. I mean, I'm talking about losing $700 and making $1,100. Like, if you even lost at the end of the week, you're up $500, but you made $1,000 and you lost $500, but you're making $500 a week. That's pretty fucking good. I mean, people would say, well, God, fuck what you do. Yeah, you want to get better at it, but I mean, or you could do the no nonsense effect where you put $3,000 in there, you barely fucking trade it and go, see, look at that, barely losing. He's so focused on losing. What a loser. So fucked up. I get that you don't want to lose, but dude, you pulled the trigger, you're down the spread, you just lost. In fact, the commissions, you're down commissions if they're charging you. If they're not, they got a wide spread and they're building it into the spread. You're not, there's no fucking way around it, dude. Unless you fucking are so big that you have no spread, no commissions, unless you're one of Biden's offspring, dude, you're paying the fucking retail, you're paying that shit. If it's fixed spread, it's wide as fuck on the outlying pairs. If it's floating, it's wide as fuck when 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time comes on the outlandish Singapore against the Rand. That shit's fucking ridiculous. And the Mexican peso, I don't even know how to write a script for it. I'd have to fucking keep moving the decimal point till the fucker I tried once and I pulled the trigger and it took me right out. With real money, one day I was like, yeah, I'll take it over and trade that script. But when I put the trade on, the broker took me out because you're allowed to trade inside the spread now. Hey, you're in, you're out. You just lost. They're like, yeah, we'll take that trade. Sure, bring it. Yeah, suck you to death on the spread. Commissions are flat fee. Yeah, so if you're staring down that spread, we're up $7. Look at us here. Buying some more euro. I don't know, man. People crack me up. That nonsense guy. His music is so quiet on the intro now. It's hysterical. You turn it down even from the last time you commented about it. Well, people were complaining. Yeah, no shit, we were going to kill ourselves. Look at this nice breakout on the half hour. I want to buy some more. Oh, fuck, I just missed it. Fuck them. I'm not buying it. So, yeah, so another thing is that you really got to load into that. Look at that nice, clean 1 hour down. The 1 hour and the 4 hour in sync right there. Beautiful. Actually, it looks just like the British pound in the 1 hour. Nice, gentle walk down into the double top. Same story here. Nice, gentle walk down. We're about to pop up. But I'm not going to jump on this train. I used to do that. Oh, I'll jump on here. And then this thing goes fucking smacks up. I don't get out. I don't see it. It smacks down. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm never going to. I would, like I said, I would go flat on the euro and get into the yen maybe. But these things coexisting, and actually, if they pull me into this yen, I know I got the yen penny. Look, they're about to fill my yen, right? So I know this, from the torture of doing this before. Look at this half hour. It looks like I'm going to overfill. But I love this shit. Now, these could be bad trades in the beginning. I just got filled on 2 limits already. Seeing that wick? Now, those aren't 300K, and if they were, I'd get the fuck out right now. Because the size that I'm trading, I'm hoping it goes lower. And maybe these will be... I could take those off right now. In fact, here, because I have this script, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out of these, and I've done this before. If that's real money, I'm getting out right there. I scalp it. Leave the other guys. These guys, it's going to go lower. Now I'm up 16. I just took that. So I didn't even know that was filling in the background. I wonder why the margin requirement just went up $2. It went to ones. It just bugs the shit out of me to see that. But I know people are trading. I'd like to just focus on one thing. And look at this, could go tanking. This is an obvious buy. So I'm going to put in my big kahuna 12-hour, 25 pip spacers. There you go. That is a fucking easy trade. Here's the 15. Here's the 40. And here's the 6 pips in 8 hours. Very aggressive. So I was running that last night. I ran tons of those. It cleaned up. Big fucking 30 pip stop. The last part it buys is 8. So here we're about to cash out here a little bit. Here's the ones I was pulling the trigger about half an hour ago. I said I'm buying with 5 pip stops. And I said I want to get in before they leave the station, and they're leaving. There's no fucking way I'm adding to that. So to get to 7,500. Barely in the market, and this is another problem, is that I kind of have a problem with, I like to treat this just like I'm in big. I mean, I'd be like, we get to that target, I'm getting out. I don't look at it like I'm barely in and I'm going to like cook. I don't have the patience. I'd rather dump out when we get to this target. To me, this is the sellers are going to come in here and I'm going to cash out maybe of everything. And then I'm going to put limits in just like I did. I'm going to stream limits in here. This way, if this was the market makes it to here, I'm going to put in sell limits so that I can go to sleep and then they kind of come down here if they do. And I'm talking about putting 150K in all sorts of different stop and take profits all the way down. So maybe I would do that on the dollar. On the dollar yen's penny right now. Dollar yen has enough participants. The dollar Swiss, I know it looks good, but I don't really have I don't have stops that tight that it's worth my while. And the spread's not that great over here. See, the spread's 8 on the Swiss. So for as much as it moves, that's terrible. It's almost a 1 pip spread. It just went to 1. The spread's 0.2. It went to 1.2. Another reason why it's a little deceiving. When you're trading breakout on here, you're overpaying by at least 1 or 2 pips. Where if you trade breakout on the euro, these are clean breakouts. See, the British pound, not so good. Spread sucks. I don't want to trade that. It's not worth it. Nice and tight on the dollar yen. It's the only 2 pairs I would forex worth trading in my mind. but not, according to some people, because the euro dollar is supposed to be manipulated, and the dollar is the most manipulated, and dollar yen, God knows what could happen. And it depends what you're getting on this gold spread. Not bad, 17 cents. So it's like 20 cents. It's pretty fucking tight. That's a nice tight spread. That's good. What time we got here? Okay, it's 7:45, and I'm about ready for my nap. No, it's stressful. I like this euro. I see the sellers are coming in right there. I'm gonna look at right here at this bottom. So we could go to pullback right now. So I could cash out, and then just not have to babysit this thing and worry about it. Or I'm gonna wait to the top of the hour. Here's the half-hour chart. So if I keep on going to the larger time frame, look at the 4-hour. You're like, oh, just hold on to that trade. That's a beautiful trade. It's like a beautiful phone call. Look at that. Nice. I think definitely sellers are going to be up here. Now here's where I should start putting the sell limits in, so I will. I don't have the right length though. I don't think they're aggressive enough. I got to start selling here. Everything above here is going to be the backlash, the counter trend trade. So let's lay them in. I think they don't last long enough though. I have to extend the times on these, so that's another thing I could work on, is make a 30 pips. Instead of 30 pips in 3 hours, I can make 30 pips and 35 pips in 8 hours. So that's where I would start to sell more and start, baby steps into selling there. That's my safest trade, so to speak. Here's the safer one. 30 pips in 2 hours. Same entry though, so this should be 35. I need to put 5 pips in between this and go all the way up to about 60 pips north. I would sell for 6 hours and what have you. It just seemed easier for me to say. I work so much on the buy side that I would buy this on a plunge and buy this on a plunge if I have trailing buy limits behind it, which I'm not going to run any. Okay, I'll run a few. So sometimes this is what's going to smooth out the equity, is that I'm long right now. What if they smash it down? Since I'm not in that big. Here's the 4 hours, 10 pips deep. Then we go up to the 12-hour. I don't think that's worth launching. Here's 8 hours, 15 pips deep. And once again, 8 hours, 6 pips deep. This is very aggressive. Very close to the market. Don't want to click that too many times at the same price. Wait for the market to move. And here we're going to catch a falling knife. And I'm going to put in these precision orders. 55 pips in 8 hours. I don't think we're making it down there in 8 hours. Another thing you can do with these trend channels, if you like to try to project when you're going to get there and where you should be price-wise, how long it's going to take to get there. So if you were trying to estimate this price pulse, you have this, you come back to here. That's the bottom become a top. You're going to find the lowest close in here and project that same angle. So you would have been looking to buy anything below here in this time, in that time, whatever that comes out in the future, which is probably about a day in front of you. I'm sorry, this is the half-hour chart, so this is about 4 hours in front of you. But maybe you don't want to put it in for, if it lasts all day, then if you have one down here, you might get crushed. But if you're going to buy this, which I would, this is an easy dollar yen trade in my opinion. Is you're buying here, And if you could scalp something to this structure, but then you really load up here, and every time it goes down, you buy more and more and more, and maybe you go flat on the whole position here, like a lot of people did, obviously. And new sellers come in here, right? Because you're in a downtrend, don't forget. So you can see the trend traders getting in here now. They're hoping they can crush it, but I'm willing to buy there. As they profit on the way down, I want to buy that as it streams down. I like that trade a lot. So it's just a preference. I like to catch a falling knife. I think if I was in the circus, I'd be swallowing swords or something. Or the flamed torches. I guess you got to put gel in your mouth for that. That might be a little bit much. Let me delete my arrows. I got arrows on all these. You can take them off the script. It's just under the word blue and red. I have blue for buy and red for sell. MetaTrader is hard coded to put in these blue profits and these red stops. You'd have to dig deep into the library catalog, the library code to change that, and I'm not about to do that. That is, so I went with that color scheme. Here's delete all objects. Now I can see my fresh tickets I'm going to put in for 10 pips in 4 hours, which looks very aggressive to me because I'm looking to buy this plunge now. I want to interweave that with the 15 to 35 to 8. I don't want to duplicate anything, and if I stack them in like that, now here's like my iceberg order, 40 pips deep. You can write so many variations on this. It's endless. I like the single trigger approach because it's more precise, but like here's 40 pips in 12 hours. Perfect, right? New lows, 12 hours. Now I know I want to put the 50 in. And this should probably be 12 hours. There's always some work to be done on this thing. It's a never-ending. Here's the hedges. I'm not going to run those. It would cause me to go short into my limits, and I'd rather keep track of. It gets too complicated. I'm up on the euro right now, and this should come down then if the euro's going up against the dollar. So the dollar's weak. It doesn't mean that the dollar yen has to go down, but it looks like it could cave in here real easy. Here's the 8 hour 6 pips, so that's super aggressive. I like that ticket. The less dangerous is the 30-minute version of that, which I have down here. What the fuck is it? Yeah, these are kind of just scattered all over. Here is really close, 4 pips to 12 with a 28 stop, 30 minutes. So if the market's really moving fast, I would drop that every 30 minutes. You don't have to. I mean, you kind of have to gauge it. It's just a pre-programmed thing that you can. It's a labor-saving device. So let's see here. That's all I'm going to do is dollar yen and euro dollar. I've never really liked to overpay for any of these trades because it adds up, and even if you're in a single position, it's really kind of brutal. Here, the spread. Look how tight it is. Sometimes it's tighter than the euro dollar. It is right now. But and this can move pretty good. We could come down easily 35 pips here. So I'm going to put in the 8 hours, the 6, the 12 again. Every time it moves, I can use the same orders because they're going to end up slightly different. So anything right around here and below. I love that. I should make this one daily. I should make a 55 daily. It's better to have them, like an 8 and a daily so that, if it gets there too fast, you don't want to fill the 8 hour. You want it to be, if you're projecting this momentum with a trend line or a channel like that, you're kind of like, yeah, I want to be about here by there. So I want my pack. And naturally, you're going to start here. I'm going to start here all the way down. In fact, I will certainly have no problem. If we come down here and come back to here, I will cash out. And I do think it's going to tank. That's why I got out of those couple tickets. So I think we're going for another dip. The scalpers are getting out right now, and now they're pulling it back, and then, the next price pulse going to be one of those classic smash downs. So you see the breakout confirmation, comes back to the double bottom of the 5-minute. And this is a classic. It doesn't have to. This could be actually a auction right now. And it was for me. I got out like 5 minutes ago. So I got out 5 minutes ago on this trade. God, it looks messy on the 5-minute chart here, doesn't it? Very tight spread, though. Those are great trades. Look at that. I mean, you still up on that trade, even. You bought that new low. Yeah, spastic little market. I think it's going to tank. It's rearing up for a tankage. Especially in, here we got 4 minutes left in this bar. All right. Gotta get some. I'm gonna have to go buy some junk food, some entertainment food. Not a good idea, but I just can't handle it. It's so boring. Did I just get filled on something? I see that margin went up. No. Oh yeah, look at that. I got filled there. Let me take that one off the table. Didn't even notice it. Look at that. See, this is another thing. Just keep plucking these off. Because we're going to tank here. Let me take off that little winner. Look at that. I got it filled right there. Okay, I'm out of that. Now I'm waiting for another plunge, Ola. And I'll actually put in another ticket to make up for the one I just cashed out on. Let me put this 10 pip to 30 pip with the 45 stop for 4 hours. And then I'm going to put this another 30-minute one in. I'm going to put a 5 pip deep, 30-minute. And that's about it. Because if I go to the 4-hour chart, I just got so much exposure here possibly. Look at that. We could easily tank. Look at the 30-minute. It looks very possible too. These are two different views of what I'm expecting for this autofill, this plunge into my catch fly knife basically. But like this first area here is all shorter terms, so it's about timing it. The deeper we go, the longer they last. See this 40 pip deep stuff here. We're losing on our euro. Because we're waiting for the top of the hour. So it looks like we're going to keep breaking out. It's the top of the hour. We're just about to complete this bar. Gosh, what a small bar. Jesus. Breakout traders are going to get into this one. Here comes the turtle traders. Man, look at that. Hammer, small bar, and the sell stops are going to start stacking up too. People are going to start running that breakout strategy. People that want to trade breakout strategies are definitely going to notice the lack of volatility over the last 1 hour. Nice hammer there. There's an engulf right here. You close down here, you engulf, which is a hammer. On the 2-hour chart, that's a hammer. Depending when your broker's going to update the 2-hour chart. You can get lost in this stuff, That's why I stay away from MT5 because I can't ever trade my scripts on there. And I don't really want to look at the fucking 6-hour chart and have to think about, that looks like, the anxiety level's too high. I just stick to 159, I'm like nonsense forex. I go for the end of the day. The last 4 p.m. 4 p.m. stocks are closed. Nobody's trading. Volatility's dried up. I'm getting a trade. So look at that. Here comes the buy stop, sell stop strategy on the 1 hour. Obvious. Buy stop, sell stop. But I'm in, and I don't want to overpay. And if I was going to buy here on a stop, I'd just buy here at the market. And if I was going to sell here on a stop, I'd sell at the market. Maybe I sell on a stop too, but I'm selling at the market. I'll take it, And then if I sell at the market, I still got my buy limits down here. Maybe I do add more buy limits here to offset that, but I think it's going to take this out, and I don't want to add. Besides, I could get filled on this dollar yen very quickly. This could all happen since it's the last day of the week coming into, we could just be getting some serious run for the border, run for the end of the range, go out of fair value to the edge again. So we can always go from fair to unfair back and forth. It gives us that nice noisy chart. And here I'm just going to let this ride out. If we make it to 7,500, that's fine. So here was the pullback that I bought earlier. Cashed out up here. Went sideways. You could have put a hedge on right there. This is the only opportunity, was this bar, the smallest bar. You're always looking for the smallest bar. Here's another small bar. Yeah, here's kind of a small bar. But it's kind of like a little bit deep. We never make it to here, though. Look at that. Never make it to there. If it's big down, buy this one. Maybe you don't buy this one. Maybe there is a hedge in there. Definitely going to buy that big down bar. Not going to buy that. There's no buys in here. Maybe on a stop there. Okay. So that's it. This looks like it's about to tank any minute. Another thing you can do is there's a under this trades tab, you can pluck off an order. I usually don't because I want to see it fill. You know, real or fake money, I want to get in on something here right at the border. So, I don't have it here, do I? Wait. It should be under C. No, I guess it's not on this one. Because I don't use drag and drop on this tablet. Anyways, there's one on another version where you just drag, it's called close order, and we just close it. Wow, look at that scalp. Sure stayed in that trade. Now it does look like it's poised for a plunge. But you could open up the platform. There's another problem with trading dual currencies is you got to rifle through the terminal to find that ticket to plug it off there. Yeah, see they're backing off the euro now. Sell stops could get triggered here. Oh, look at that, just serious reversal. Wow, look how rambunctious that thing is. Breaking out to the upside. Wow, we're up $22 here for a millisecond. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, that's where we're at on this thing. Just plodding along.